Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Luigi C, back with a good old-fashioned Guilty Gear Strive track analysis. So this is the first pure Guilty Gear track analysis that I've done in a while. Happy Chaos dropped. You know, whenever a new Guilty Gear character drops, I always gotta go and check out that theme. After being pretty disappointed with Jacko's theme, Happy Chaos theme Drift really knocked me out, not gonna lie. I'm into this theme heavy. It has a lot of really cool musical elements that we're going to dive into right now. We're going to talk about the harmonies, the scales that are being used, the metal guitar techniques, break all that stuff down. Before we get into it, just want to remind everyone, if you want to see more content like this, like the video, sub to the channel. I've been putting stuff out pretty consistently for like 6 months now. So definitely keep it locked to the channel if you want to see more stuff like this. But yeah, let's check out this track analysis. So just the character's name, Happy Chaos. There's just automatically contradiction there. You know, chaos doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, but most of the time it is. So when you say Happy Chaos, it means you're happy being in a state of disarray, which I think most people aren't. Most people aren't content with chaos. So, you know, when we're talking about Happy Chaos, right away I feel like we're dealing with a psychopath here. And the music kind of mirrors that in a way. Yeah, let's see how this all unfolds.
It took me 10 years to find the answer to something. I forgot about it in 2 seconds. That's about it.
So what a way to start off the track. There's a lot of weird stuff on this soundtrack. So they're really just following the tradition of keeping it weird, which I'm okay with. This is just a bizarre way to start it. Something like that. Something like that. So the chords that we have, D minor 9. There's the 9th to a G7 to C and then to A7. So what's going on with that chord progression? That's a pretty standard jazz chord progression. D minor 9 to G7, implying a 2-5. If you've been watching my videos, you've seen me talk about 2-5s a lot. So implying a 2-5, that D minor 9 to G7, D is 2, G is 5, so that means C has to be 1, and we do get the C. So it literally starts with a 2-5-1. But then what's this? A7? What's that chord doing there? Well, this A7 actually has a pretty unique function. A7 is the 5 of the D minor 9, which was the first chord we started on. D minor 9, the 2 to G7, which is the 5, and then to C, which is the 1. But then this A7 is the 5 of the D minor 9, and that brings us back to the D minor 9, kind of giving us this endless loop of a chord progression. A7, 5 of the D minor 9. So pretty interesting chord progression. I love that, how that works out. And the A7 is outside the key. You can tell because an A7 has a C sharp in it. Which if we just did a 2-5-1 in C, obviously there's no C sharp in that key signature. So this A7 comes through with a C sharp. And that's actually something called a secondary dominant. A dominant of something else that's other than the 1. So besides that jazzy chord progression, there's other things they're doing to kind of give it this jazzy style. First of all, the vocals got a real kind of Tony Bennett, I don't know, maybe like Frank Sinatra or something, kind of swing to it. We got a jazzy swing rhythm on the hi-hats, and there's even a walking bass line. So just a really bizarre way to start off with just this jazz break. Let's see what happens next. So it's a standard riff. We're in drop D actually, which is pretty notable. A lot of the tracks in this on the soundtrack are in drop B. There's a couple that are in standard, but yeah, this one's in drop D. So you hit that low D up to that note, which is actually a C sharp. That's the major seventh of a D major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's the seventh there. And then they go up to the 8, which is the octave. So now the vocals are doing something real interesting. So we're starting on a C. And it's kind of a long, drawn-out, melismatic melody here. So what's happening there? We're starting on a C. And I'm just gonna be straight up. We're in the key of D major here. So we're starting on a C. We were just talking about the seventh of the D major scale being a C sharp. But here the vocals are starting on a C. Natural. So automatically kind of contradicting what's happening in the guitar part. Now what's a major scale with a lowered seventh? Because that's what it is. The C natural is a lowered seventh. Get a scale called Mixolydian. And the vocals here are outlining a melody using a Mixolydian scale over that guitar riff with the C sharp, which is the major seven. That's what I think is giving it kind of this spacey sound. This sort of reminds me of 60s psychedelic music. There's a psychedelic Beatles song, like Sgt. Pepper Magical Mystery Tour era, that I can't put my finger on that this is reminding me of so much. I was doing some research trying to figure out which Beatles song I'm thinking of, and there's this one. Flat seventh, it's using a Mixolydian scale. So that's something there. I'm not saying that that's a direct link, but it's something. But yeah, some of the vocal harmonies are also very Beatles-like. But at the same time, there's this sort of like progressive metal element to it, kind of the big prog stuff. Think like Rivers of Nile, kind of these psychedelic prog metal bands. So you're getting this really psychedelic sound here. Pretty interesting. I haven't heard much of this on the soundtrack so far. I'm also looking at a lyric video right now, and literally the lyrics here are just, yeah, baby, right. Which could also be like a little Beatles reference there. All right, so now we're kind of leaving that psychedelic realm and getting more into some Daisuke thrash. Something like that. You're gonna have to just consult your local shredder guitarist for this one. Yeah, I think here these kind of Slayer type trills to them. It's kind of outlining a chord. like a D minor chord, but kind of trilling on each one. So yeah, we're getting heavy now. I just want to point out this track, and it's linear in a way. We're not finding a groove to kind of like really rest our hat on. It's just frenetic, one part to the next. And I think that really goes with this character. When I first heard it, it's just an assault of different parts coming at you at once. Dare I say avant-garde in the way that it feels free. But yeah, this part. I don't know exactly what he's doing there. Double bass drums. Now this part. So huge feel change here. This part's in like 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now we're going to 3. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So this part, which is kind of, in terms of this track, kind of like the hook, it actually goes into 3/4. It goes in 3/4, almost like waltz, like 1, 2, 3. What I find really interesting about this part is something beautiful about this section. Just kind of a beautiful singing melody with these really interesting chords underneath. It's so unexpected when this part happens. Shout out to the tasteful use of auto-tune also here. I want to point something else out. And this goes back to what I was talking about with these contradictions. Happy chaos. You know, every time I do one of these videos, I always say I wish I knew more about the Guilty Gear lore. So if you guys want to jump in the comments, tell me what I'm missing lore-wise with the lyrics, that'd be much appreciated. Kind of real rockin' part. Shout out to Naoki's performance here. Do I really gotta say, if you watch my videos, you can see I'm a huge fan of Naoki Hashimoto. We've been in the key of D major for a lot of this piece so far, but here, get a minor third, implying some D minor. It's happy chaos. We're going from D major to D minor. But this whole part, really outlining D major. Kind of cool little cadence there. It took me 10 years back into this. That's why everything is beautiful. I don't know. Back into this riff. There's that drone of the low D with the major 7th and then the octave. Vocal stylings using a Mixolydian scale, which is a major scale with a flat 7. If anyone can tell me what Beatles song this sounds like, I would be so grateful. It's kind of driving me crazy a little bit. Dice. It's a Daisuke guitar trickery. We're gonna skip ahead a little bit. Okay, so we got a new section coming up. Let's check this out.
Can you hear it? The pulses of the living. The ironic rhythm is a grand orchestra. It's never the same tone. Who wants to stop this? There can be.
What do I even say about this one? It's so weird. It's so weird. This piece goes so many places. We're talking about video game music here. We're talking about music composed for video games. Man, the medium of this art form, it has really come so far. We start off straight jazz intro, psychedelic prog metal verse, to just these straight Slayer thrash stuff, and now into show tunes. I'm a huge fan of many styles of music. Musical theater and show tunes, I think it's comfortably last on my list of music that I like. So this part, I could kind of take it or leave it. We've seen this before. This is kind of reminiscent of the ending for Zato's theme. But yeah, this part just kind of has me thinking, when are we going to get that Guilty Gear musical? Like just a straight like sitcom type thing where they just break out into song. I'm waiting for that to happen. This is similar to Zato's theme. I would say it goes beyond Zato's theme. I think this is even more flamboyant, more theatrical in every sense of the word. I would even, and also way more complex. If you look at my track analysis for Zato's theme, you can see that the ending for Zato's theme is a pretty simple chord progression, actually. It's nothing too crazy. This one is way more complex. It's a full like string section. There's like, you know, flourishes and crescendos everywhere. So let's listen to it a little bit more.
When the violent storm is over, blue sky is the more beautiful than ever. You see, I will let the town out.
This is straight Broadway. Like it's really amazing. And I mentioned before, it's like at the bottom of my list, but when it's put in this context, I can really appreciate it because most of the soundtrack is in the metal realm. So adding this to it is putting something that's foreign to the concept of the album and just kind of mixing it together. Something about it not being the focal point makes it more enjoyable for me. And this is the same chord progression as the 3/4 chorus part that we were talking about earlier.
I'll just be a black sea.
But it's not in 3, it's in 2.
Please don't stop the flow. I drift tonight with wandering just. I will be of that universe.
This is definitely in 3.
Tonight a finite world. A finite one and the infinite one.
Wow. And they end with the jazzy part. Really an amazing track. I've said it before, there's something avant-garde about it. It's more than just verse, chorus. It's these parts that seemingly don't go together and they kind of flow linearly, but it comes out as a whole coherent product at the end. So I think that's going to do it for me. There's a couple of parts that should be marked in the video of tabs that are on the Patreon, and you can subscribe at the $5 tier to get access to those tabs. Not everything I played, I'm tabbing out. So if you've been paying attention to the channel, I've been doing bass tutorials. I am much more comfortable putting together a full-scale bass tab than I am a guitar tab, especially for these tracks. They're extremely complex. I'm not really a metal guitarist like that. So some of it, I'm not sure if it's 100% accurate. I'm not about to start charging tabs that I'm not sure are 100% accurate. I may put a free version of the tabs up in the comment section, so watch out for that. But you can also go to the Patreon, subscribe at a $1 tier if you just want to support the channel. That'd be much appreciated also. Let me know in the comments what you think of this track. I love this track. I think it's amazing. Can't wait to see what else is in store for this soundtrack as the DLC keeps rolling out. Every day I wake up and I have plans on streaming on Twitch, but it hasn't happened yet. So if you want to go and check out the Twitch channel, drop a follow there, drop a like here, drop a sub, check out the Twitter, check out the Patreon. That's going to do it for me. I'll see you next time. Peace.